Hi, let's do a virtual high five. Welcome back to our channel. Sales is always fun. So this episode, we are going to look at sales process. Now, what's a sales process? A sales process is defined as a set of repeatable steps or actions which a sales team takes to move a customer to closure. So is the sales process fixed? No. It is not fixed. It is always subject to improvements because you have several steps in it. So why should you go for a sales process? One, there is a uniformity the way your salespeople approach the market. Two, your beginners who have joined you have a route map to follow, because sales process is actually a route map that takes you from A to B. It tells you how to move, and from each step to another step it tells you, yes, this is the process. So sales process is very important for an organization. In the previous episode where we spoke of characteristics of a successful sales professional, where one of the characteristics which we defined was that he has got a set processes which he follows, and this set processes is nothing but the sales process. So now let's see what is the basic steps in the sales process. Well, first step is to identify your customer. Second step would basically be to do a research on the customer, like how good, how bad is the customer, and also who all are the people working there, because today you have, thanks to the internet, it is all there available for you in the net, who's who in the organization. And once you know who's who, then you go and meet the customer, and then you know whom to meet and you start meeting the customer, which is called as the approach phase. And once you meet the customer, then you qualify the customer, whether you are able to understand what his problem is for which you can actually offer the solution. How far is the customer willing to go? How important is the problem for the solution you offer? Based on this, you decide whether you need to spend time with the customer or not. And once you spend time with the customer, then you meet the people and present them your solution. So once you present them your solution, there would be objections and negotiations happening, and then after which you close a sale, and then of course the relationship building happens. Now, this is a rough cut sales process, and we will go in depth into one of the process, and that process is called as the SPANCO. S for suspect, P for prospect, A for approach, N for negotiate, C for closure, and O for order. So SPANCO. Now the reason why I chose this process is this has been followed by many companies. So let's look into that step by step. So before getting into that, let's assume that you have come to a stage where you have decided to get married. So what's the first step you would do once you decide to get married? You would then check out saying that, okay, fine, this is how my spouse has to be. So you would have your own definitions. Yes, he or she has to be this height, this weight, this region, that region. You have a defined structure. Similarly, for your product, the first stage of suspect, what you do is you are very clear that not everybody is my customer. So who's my customer? You define your customer. And once you have defined your customer, so you would rather look at ways, maybe officially getting into LinkedIn or in Facebook or through your telecalling, emailing, customer coming to your websites or road shows, etc., several ways by which you start defining, you calling your customers, and then you decide that who is to be my customer. That is where the prospect stage comes. So you have spotted a customer, you have spotted a person whom you think could be your spouse. So what will be your next step? So you'll have to go find out whether he or she is married already or not, and also whether they are willing to get married. So that is exactly what we do with the stage of prospecting. So you have to see whether your customer is open to buy, whether he is capable of buying. Because this prospecting is a very important stage. The difference between a successful sales professional and a not successful sales professional is in how you do your prospecting.
The important step in prospecting is to find out who is the man. Man, M-A-N, stands for money, authority and need. In an organization, there would be somebody who decides how much you can spend on this. Who budgets it is the person who has got the money. There's somebody who gives the okay to buy, who has authority to give the okay to buy is A, and N is the one who actually requires the material. He has the need for it. So that is man. So you need to find out whether it is the one same person or a different people having these three different roles in organization. And also at this stage of prospecting, you need to understand what the customer's buying process is and what is the buying criteria, and also the time frame they have taken to procure your product or service that you are offering.
So when you decided with your spouse, okay, I can look at this spouse, this person as my spouse. So what is the next step you do? You approach, or you look for ways as to how do you go and approach the person. Whether to go and approach the person directly or through the person's relations, parents, friends. So you work out. Similarly, in the next step, approach, when it comes to sale, you start working out as to how do I approach the customer. Do I call up the customer direct? Do I go to LinkedIn and other sites to see out who are working there? What are they doing? And here you actually approach, you see who's the person I need to meet. So when you go approach the man, you may go say, hey, I'm from XYZ, I'm from this company, this, that. Customer is not bothered. Let's be very clear. He is interested in what is in it for me, like I discussed in the first episode. So ideal way would be, like in public speaking, the first few seconds, the customer will decide whether he needs to spend time with you or not. So you can straight away go and say, we offer solutions for these problems of yours. The customer straight away finds value in talking to you. And then he decides whether you can offer or not. And then you pitch in your company. So when you approach your customer, have it in mind to address his problem first. What is his problem? What is in it for me is what he's asking, and you give an answer for that first. And then talk of the rest. So now that you have approached the customer, you have explained to them what their pain points are. And next is you give your proof, or where you may have to give your POC, you may have to give a demo, depends on what the customer wants or how your industry operates. The next step is closure. So even in life, you found the person, the spouse, you have been going around with the person, you have been going for tea shops, coffee shops, you have been going for movies, but end of the day, you need to go propose. Similarly in sales, you need to ask the customer for closure. You ask an average salesperson, what is the toughest job in sales? He will tell you closure. And study says that more than 65% of the salespeople say closure is the toughest step, because you have built your rapport, and now you are in two minds always whether I should propose, whether I should ask, what is a good time to ask, and things like that. But there is another school of sales which you would have heard telling you that always be closing, ABC. But then I would suggest that you can start closing from the time you had given your proposal to the customer, saying this is how I solve your problem and this is the value that I bring to you on table. And that's from when on you should start closing. In fact, we'll have one full episode on closing, because if you go through Zig Ziglar, he gives about 100 methods of closure. We will look at about 10-15 of it in a separate episode, the major 10-15 which is used popularly. And once you have closed, ask the customer for the order, because the order has to be in a format, in a way which is acceptable to you and to your organization. The terms, conditions, Everything is laid out there. And then of course, as a natural process, you will ask the customer for again a few referrals, and you continue to maintain the relationship with the customer. So this is Panko. And in the next episode, yes, we will look at other things. We'll look at account management. To get notification when the next episode is uploaded, please press the subscription and the bell button so that the notification will come to you. Thank you. Till we meet again, happy selling.